Hello everyone, my name is Zenitsu and I'm back with another Digi Finance video. So today, hopping over back at UUTai, they posted one of their sales rankings where basically they tell us the best selling card in each rarity, and this is for the time period of March 1st through March 15th, and this is when Battle for Omni or Battle for Omega is in full swing, and people are looking to pick up cards to build new decks out of the new set. So going over the sales rankings, starting with the best-selling SR, we have Crusaidermon. So Crusaidermon is definitely looking like it's one of the more powerful SRs of the set because of her ability where when attacking, you get to play for free either a yellow level 3 Digimon with Warrior as its attribute. And based on all of the level 3s and Warriors we have, there's definitely a lot of very powerful combinations that you could utilize this card with to just try to aggro out or control the opponent's field, because you have Nightmon, which on play will reduce one of the opponent's Digimon's DP by 4,000 as a level 5 that's just coming out for free. And then on the level 3 slot, you have Starsmon, you have Lucimon, you have Bushi Agumon. There's just so many really powerful level 3s that the deck likes to utilize that it really just is being a powerful control toolbox style deck that also is building a very big and powerful board as quickly as it possibly can be. And then to top all of that off, she even has another ability where during both players' turns, this card's DP is increased by 1,000 for each other Digimon you control. So not only is on attack, she's just producing more and more Digimon that have various abilities to do various things, but on top of which she herself is getting bigger and bigger each time you swing with the card. And then there's just a whole bunch of other really powerful high synergy cards to just make this card an absolute nightmare for the opponents to deal with, and that's why it's looking to be like one of the better BT05 decks, and that's why people are looking to pick up the card. So moving on to the best-selling rare of the set, we have Nokia. So Nokia is one of the few white tamers that we have, and really she's just interacting with Omnimon, Greymon, and Garurumon based decks, and we just have a whole bunch of those types of cards already floating around in the game, and the fact that she just synergizes and can create new and more powerful decks for a whole bunch of different colors means that she's definitely one of the better cards to pick up in the rare slot. So what she's doing is that she has an on-play ability where you get to play an Agumon or Gabumon from your hand for free, and that's already pretty good just because a lot of tamers just don't have very impactful effects the moment that they're played, so that just makes her already shine above a lot of the other tamers. And then on top of which, she has a really powerful main ability where when you Digivolve a Digimon into a Greymon, Garurumon, or Omnimon, then you get to reduce the evolution by 1 by suspending her. And that's just really, really powerful because not only, like I said, is she just creating a body, she also is reducing your evolutions by 1, and depending on how you build the deck, that could be a really big deal, especially if you stack multiple of her up at the same time. You could both build a decent board state and start reducing your evolution costs by a lot, making your cards that much more efficient, as long as they contain Greymon, Garurumon, or Omnimon in their name. And there's just a whole bunch of cards that she just synergizes with for a whole bunch of different colors, making her one of the best rares to pick up. Next, on to the uncommon slot, we have Guilmon. So Guilmon in purple is looking to be one of the best-selling uncommons just because a lot of people are already playing around with a whole bunch of self-sacrificing synergy. So Guilmon just increases your memory by 1 when he is deleted by a card effect. Most of the time you're going to be utilizing this card is similar to how you're going to be utilizing Tapermon, except Tapermon is just a straight-up on delete, where this is an on delete where you only get the memory back if it is by card effect. And there's just a whole bunch of card effects that purple has access to self-sacrifice their own Digimon with. And then on top of which, a lot of people are going to be looking to pick up the Chaos Gallantmon deck and the Chaos Gallantmon line, and Guilmon is just one of the cards that fits along with that. And then the best-selling common during this time period is looking to be the new Agumon. So the new Agumon has this really nice on-play ability where you get to look at the top 3 and add 1 card with Greymon in its name and 1 card with Omnimon in its name from among them into your hand, and then the rest go onto the bottom. So this is just your stereotypical digger, where he's just trying to help find your Greymons and Omnimons, and because there's just so many Greymons and Omnimons already in the game, he has a very high chance to succeed, especially depending on how you build your deck. You could build your deck around this, and this being a really good card that synergizes with Nokia definitely is also really good. So this is just looking like it's going to be one of the better commons in the set. So we already saw last time that a lot of people were looking to pick up the Diaboromon stuff, and a lot of people were still looking to pick up some green stuff. So those decks are still going to be relatively prominent, and were relatively prominent for this period of time, but it definitely seems like a lot of people are looking to pick up Crusaidermon based decks, they're looking to pick up Nokia based decks, and people are looking to pick up the Chaos Gallantmon deck. So there's just a whole bunch of decks that are possible off of this set, and there's just a whole bunch of possibilities. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how the Japanese meta and the Japanese market will evolve and change into when their meta starts settling. And as far as the US English market, it looks like the Special Booster 1.0 and Special Booster 1.5 cards are finally starting to settle down to a more normalized position. Whether their position is high or low is to be determined, but regardless, it definitely looks like the English US market is starting to settle, and will continue to start to settle as we also get a small influx of cards from the reprint run that's going to be happening, even though the reprint run is going to be a little bit on the smaller side, considering it definitely seems like they are rushing the reprints. I don't know if we're going to have more than one wave of reprints, but I don't necessarily think that the reprint wave is going to be that large, or it's going to be that impactful on the secondary market. But it definitely will have some impact nonetheless, because, you know, as more stock just gets out and available, then prices will tend to fluctuate based on what the current supply is. And then on top of which, we also have the premium pack coming later in April, and that is definitely going to add more Special Booster 1.0 and Special Booster 1.5 cards. So these cards are going to continue to be a little bit fluctuating, but if anything, they should be fluctuating down on the average basis. Some of them will still fluctuate up, as more people are going to try to buy up the cards to build very specific decks to be as competitive as they possibly can be. But regardless, as you can see, there's still just a whole bunch of really cheap and affordable cards to be able to build a whole bunch of very powerful decks out of. And then let's not forget, anytime new cards get introduced, some older cards that have high synergy with whatever's news coming out will also have an impact on the market. So we got two new cards that are going to be premiering in the new starter decks, which are going to be starter decks 7 and 8, which is Gallantmon and All-Force Vidramon focused. So first, what we have here is a new version of Greymon, and this is going to be coming in the red Gallantmon deck. And this is a really nice Digimon just because he has two very nice abilities. So his first ability is he is a security Digimon. So when he is checked in the security at the end of that battle, you get to play this card for free. So that's already pretty nice to have, considering he has a really nice when played ability that complements him being a security Digimon. So his when played ability is you get to destroy one of the opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. So this card has the potential to delete two of the opponent's Digimon, one from the security check because the security battle still happens, and then the second one from his on play ability to just delete something that's 4000 or less, and that's just really, really powerful to be playing around with. Now, you do have to keep in mind that this also is a Greymon, so he does have all of the Greymon support that Red has been playing around with quite a lot. So that is another huge factor that goes into determining whether you want to play this card, but I definitely really like what this card is doing, and I think this is a pretty nice card. And then the other card that we got shown earlier was a new version of Cordraman, which is going to come in the All-Force Vidramon Blue starter deck. And this is basically doing almost the exact same thing as the Greymon as we saw earlier, where the stats are the same, the costs are the same. This is just blue and not red. And then on top of which, he has the security ability, and then his when or on played ability is a little bit different, where this Cordraman has the ability of when or on played, you get to draw 2 cards. So drawing 2 cards, especially coming out of the security, is really, really nice, just because it is essentially just a free draw 2, but that is only if it is seen in the security, and if you do the math, there's about an 8% chance that this card will end up in your security, so it's not like you could really count on that ability to happen more often than not, but it's still nice to have for when that situation does happen. But regardless, it's still just a really nice card to be playing around with, just because of that when or on play of draw 2, and we've already seen something like this before in the form of Zudomon all the way back in BT01, where he just has an on-play ability of draw 2 on a level 5 body, and this being on a level 4 body means that it has some different synergies and different interactions that you could possibly think about. So you could possibly think about utilizing this with Leopardmon, you could possibly think about utilizing this with Metal Garurumon from BT01, so he has his own set of interactions that could really make use of this ability. And I definitely think just him being a security Digimon with draw 2 on a level 4 is just really, really decent overall. But it's always nice to see what cards like these will do to the secondary market as more people think about the types of synergies and interactions that this card could have with a whole bunch of the older cards on top of the product that he's going to be released with. So, like I said, you could think about picking up Leopardmon from BT03 and Metal Garurumon from BT01 just because they have some really powerful interactions with this card where you could separate it from the evolution source to then get its on-play ability to draw 2 cards. So, as a result, when this card comes out, those cards might see some spikes, and that's kind of just how you evaluate what the secondary market would be doing. And based on the information that we have in Japan, we could do a lot of predictions on how to evaluate certain cards based on their performance in Japan and what we expect them to do in the English meta. So that's all I really have for this video. As always, I'll have in the description below a TCG player affiliate link. So whenever you use that TCG player affiliate link to buy cards off of TCG player, then some of that money will go to support me in the channel. And as always, feel free to tell me your thoughts down in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you in the next video.